and welcome to day 7. I am Yasheka Foster, affectionately known as the artist of dating. And you are currently viewing my day 7 of my 10 days of love for Valentine's special. Today, we are talking about love is not. Over the last 6 days, previous episodes, and if you have not caught my previous episodes leading up to day 7, be sure to check them out. I will link them in the bottom of this video. But I've talked about the groundwork for love, what love means, how love is steady, the definition of love, how Valentine's even came to be. Today, I wanted to do almost like the opposite of what I've previously done relating to the 10 days of love. Talk about what love is not. So the reason why I felt like this needed to be necessary to discuss is because if I'm going to tell you what love feels like, I got to also tell you what love is not. And the first thing I think about is I believe that love is definitely unconditional, right? Unconditional, meaning that, there's no strings attached when you love something when you love someone. I believe that love is something that is showed, not necessarily something that's said, but something that's showed, right? It's a relational word, which means that me loving you means something for me because there's a relation there. Granted, we can love things, like I love the color. I love when sunset, right? I love to see the beginning of a sunset, right? So we can love things that don't love us back. But when it comes to a person, right, love is relational. Love is not conditional. And so my first thought that comes to mind is the idea of what some people think love means. I remember as a child, one of the things that I tell people is when I joined the military, right? In the military, of course, when it comes to certain things such as physical altercations or things like that, if you are a service member, you could get hemmed up for that. But I remember that physical altercations was something that I seen often in my life, right? Growing up as a child, I seen it in my family. I seen it, in relationships, in my own relationship, my first relationship, or should I say, my first marriage. And I remember thinking how, love is okay that you show love in a physical way, right? But then once I became a service member, they explained to me that anything dealing with physical aspect with my spouse, I could be punished. I can go suffer UCMJ, which is Uniform Code of Military Justice, which is when they could take rank from you, take money from you, things like that. So I started to put two and two together. Like, okay, well, if they're telling me that this is not prohibited, then maybe I need to take a look at this in my own life, because this is what I seen, this is what I saw growing up. So I didn't know there was a distinction between how I identify love with physical aspect, right? And so I think it was the military that kind of told me that if you do this, this means this. So if you are into physical altercations with your spouse, it's wrong, right? So that's the correlation that I made. If you do this, then it's wrong. And if it's wrong, then that means that it shouldn't be a part of my life, because if it was something that was acceptable or necessary or right in a relationship, then why was the military against it? Why is it that I could be punished for something relating to a physical altercation? And so once I started to put those things together, that's when I started to understand that this does not equate to love, because if it did, then the military wouldn't oppose of it. So this has to be wrong. This should not be part of a relationship, right? Because I thought it was part of a relationship. I thought you just to it, duke it out, or whatever, and that's it, right? And you live to see another day, right? You love on each other another day, because you know what they say, makeup sex is the best sex, right? So these are some of the concepts that I had in my mind regarding love. And so as I went to progress in my life and get older in relationships and things like that, I really started to understand that this is not what love is. And I remember when I really, really understood what love was. And that's when I had my first son in 95. I got married in 91 to his father, and I had my first son in 95. And the irony of that was, it was almost as if someone had done something to me, like in my heart. Like I could literally feel it in my heart when I gave birth to this little person, right? This person that I watched grow, I felt move around in my stomach. I felt all the things that I needed to feel to connect with him. And then all of a sudden, there he was. I created him. I created him. I birthed him. I brought him into this world. This gotta be what love feels like, right? So if this is what love feels like, then that means that this over here isn't love. And so that's one of the things that I found was unique about my situation, is that even in the Bible, one of the first things they talk about in Genesis is not love with a person, but love with it's a parental love. When they talked about it, when I think it was in Genesis 22, when a child is born, the parent feels the love. And so for me, that was what I felt. That was what I really felt love was. So now that I felt what love was, I knew what love wasn't. And so love for me became, loving me means you will not hurt me. And if you are doing something that can't be, especially something, meaning you're trying to inflict harm on me, then that's love. That's not love. And then I realized that love was also not demanding. It's not selfish. It's not, you know, if I do this, then you have to do that. It wasn't quid pro quo. It wasn't any strings attached. It was something that was done through actions. It was something that was done through, just the showing of it, right? Because what I realized also is that love was not about, this happening and then somebody doing something to make it up to me to say, well, I apologize for doing this, so in terms, I'll do that. That's not love, because love means that you wouldn't hurt me in any kind of way, physical, mental, whatever. You won't hurt me. Love means you put my, if you're thinking of yourself first instead of me, then this can't be love. Because love, you just do, it just is, right? You just do, it just is, right? That's what I know about love. Love is one of those things where you shouldn't have to demand it. You shouldn't have to force someone to love you. It's either they do or they don't, right? It's either they do or they don't. And when they love you, they love all of you. They love everything there is about you. They don't try to use their love or your love against you, right? Because some people do that. Some people will take your love and they will, misuse you and take it, chew it up, and spit it right back out at you, right? So love doesn't do that. So that is not what love is. If someone does that, then that's not love. Less than good, then that's not love. If someone tries to take something from you, your ego, your pride, your self, your feeling of self, then that's not love. So those are the things that love is not. Love is supposed to feel good. Love is supposed to feel natural. It's just there, right? And I know that I'm using words where you have to kind of fill it in, but it's like, what words can I pick out the sky to really get you to understand what love is versus what love not? And someone asked me today if I was to sum love up. And I used this before when I talked about trust. If no one knew what love was, and I had to put it into an action, right? Into an action. To me, love meant that I can literally stand with my eyes closed, fall back as my partner, fall backwards, and my catches me. That's love to me. That's the best way that I can put it into an action if I had to put into an action, right? That's love. It's that feeling of knowing that you are God. Somebody has you. Someone is there for you. Somebody will catch you. Somebody will be there. Somebody, you don't have to worry about anything, right? To me, that's what love is. So if you don't have those things and you don't come nowhere close to it, then that's what love is not, right? That's what love is not. So this is my day 7 of my 10 days of love. I am Yasheka Foster, the artist of dating. I empower successful women to date through self-discovery while finding having the tools to balance it all to find and attract the love of their life. And I will catch you guys. Bye.